secondary education level. That's a little bit alarming. And on the other hand, we look into the transition rate. That's what we call it as the success rate for our so-called task. Whenever students come to us or get admitted to us, we'll have to transform them into the next level, isn't it? So when we look into these transition rates, again, higher secondary rate and the higher education rate are very much in a leapy way, they are differed. So based on these facts, what is the kind of analysis what we can arrive is, first and foremost thing is, yes, GER, that is gradual enrollment ratio, is increasing. No, we are not denying it, but it's a little bit consistent. Frankly speaking, there are still dropouts. Majorly, the structural bottleneck, that's what we call. Many number of times we could see the transition is not happening from, I should say, secondary to higher secondary, and higher secondary to the higher education institutions wise. That's one of the reasons. And also, to our surprise, even premier institutions of our country, like IITs or IIMs, you can have dropouts from their institutions as well. That means not only with the next level of institutions, but even with the topmost premier. Most of the students have the dream to arrive over there, isn't it? So, sitting in that chair, sitting in that campus, thinking about dropout is definitely something thoughtful, isn't it? So that's where we come across some bridge has to be there. And when we look into the transition rates, yes, of course, it's steady, but unfortunately, if we move in this pace, we will not be able to meet our targets that was set by National Education Policy. I think you are all familiar about NEP 2020 policy, and their targets for us is by by the year 2035, they are looking forward to have something like 50% enrollment ratio, gross enrollment ratio. But as of now, the figure said we were only 29%, which means closely we have 50% of the students we are supposed to scale them. In fact, we can't say that there are no students. There are students, but we are not transforming them into the higher education, or we are not completely guiding them to the extent where they can live a life through the higher education as well. That's where we stand over here. So yeah, that's the major task. How can we double it? Already now, we are in 2026, exactly 10 years we have. So in this 10 years, we have to double the number. How could we do that? That's where these kind of exercises and these kind of deliberations we also happen to be doing in Amrita as well. So there is a very beautiful theme that was led by our Chancellor, Mata Amritanandamayi, familiarly known as Amma. So her vision has helped us to arrive on these kind of strategies. Of course, there are many strategies, but due to the interest of the time, I'm going to discuss only one strategy, what we firmly believe on it, and then we are practicing it. And we call that strategy as GATES. GATES. So this is the perfect acronym which is relevant to the school, especially for the children. And obviously, there is a child in each one of us, I do believe on that. And we all love games, isn't it? So let's go by that acronym. That's what the strategy was defined by our Administrative Management Committee and other things. So what this games is, there are 5 steps where we can think about collaborating schools and the higher educations. So let's look into those 5 areas. So that's what this particular word is coined from. So first one is guidance and mentorship. Second one happens to be the awareness. In fact, it is early. Awareness will be there. Awareness have to be created, but rather impactful, like what Mr. Gaurav was telling. So it should be more impactful. So to add that impact sense, early awareness makes sense. And third one is matching the expectations. Fourth one happens to be the skills enhancement or enhancing skills. And last one, but not the least, smooth transition. I believe each one of us are targeting to have the smooth transition of students from each and every level when they are going from the secondary to higher secondary or higher secondary to the higher education level. So this is where we are focused on. Okay, so we will discuss one by one. I will take a little bit of time for explaining each and every aspect, what we are doing and what we believe in having this particular strategic point. So first let's go with guidance and mentorship. Yes, we have usually HEIs, what I mean in short, that is higher education institutions. Okay, so they try to think that okay fine, we are somewhere or above or on the top of this particular prism kind of